You are listening to Gameday Tarps podcast with Riley, Dakota, and Dallas.
Welcome back to episode 30 of Gameday Tarps podcast. Today, everyone, we have a very special guest, our first guest ever, Daeden Comeau. Welcome, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome, man. For everyone watching, you can go find Daeden at Bluenose Hockey on TikTok and at Bluenose Hockey, but hockey spelled HKY on Instagram. Go follow him on those social medias. He's awesome. You'll see some live stuff on him in the streets of Toronto, going to Toronto games. Fantastic content, so go check that out, please, everyone. And as always for us, like, subscribe, go on Spotify or any of those streaming services, listen to these episodes, give us some reactions, some contents, anything like that. We'd love to see that and go from there. All right. Well, how are you two boys, Dak and Dally? Getting into it here.
Doing pretty good, boss. Excited to get into this episode. A lot of playoff action going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll start a little bit with you, Daeden, and we'll go from there. Just basically ask you just some fun questions and get to know you a little bit here. First time we're all linking up on any kind of a platform, so it's neat to see. Let's just start with basic one. Where do you live? Where did you grow up? Start with that.
Yeah, right. Well, like you said, I'm in Toronto. As you can hear the sirens in behind us, probably. I'm from the small little town in Nova Scotia called Waterville, about an hour from Halifax, and I moved to Toronto for school, and it's definitely been a big change, but I'm loving it.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear. What got you into hockey back in the day, Nova Scotia? What got you to love hockey?
I definitely have to say my uncle. Like, I just wanted to be exactly like him, and he grew up playing hockey, and I just wanted to do exactly what he did. So I put on a pair of skates and tried to be just like him.
Well,
he was a goalie, actually, and I tried to be a goalie, and then I ended up not being too good, and I moved on to be a player.
Nice. So your parents were happy because no expensive goalie gear every year.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, that was my brother too. He grew up like 4 years old. He's like, I want to be a goalie. My parents bought him like little goalie pads for like cheap, like road hockey set. Luckily, he grew out of it and wanted to be a player too, because it's ridiculous the cost to be a goalie.
Oh man, it's crazy now.
If my kids ever say they want to be a goalie, I'm just gonna put them in net with no pads and just take one slap shot at them and be like, "That's what being a goalie's like."
Yeah,
that'll be that.
100%.
Obviously, you got some jerseys hanging behind you. Let's talk about the teams you support from being, out on the islands.
I mean, this'll definitely be a big representation of the three teams I mainly support. Right here, we got the Moose, number one team, of course. I've followed them ever since like the 2013 Memorial Cup run. And then we got the Habs here. I'm French. The Habs are a French team, so I mean, you got a little connection there. And Team Canada, I love Team Canada. Anything World Juniors or anything. So, yeah, I love those three teams.
Yeah, World Juniors is like the best sporting event out there, man. I love
it. Easily.
Okay, so in Toronto, big city, you obviously come from a smaller city. What's your favorite thing about living there so far?
Oh, I mean, just like it's always alive. There's always stuff to do, and like everything is within walking distance. Like where I come from, I'd have to drive like 20 minutes to go get food or something. But like, I don't know, it's so convenient. So convenient.
That makes sense, man. I know I've been to Vancouver a few times here and there, like stayed downtown, and it's just such a different lifestyle than where we are. Like we live in a town typically of like 100,000 people in Kamloops, and it's still like a stretch to kind of get to everything. It's, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, but you go to a place like Vancouver, Toronto, it's just everything's right there.
Oh yeah, it's different too. There's so many more people. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I know, Dallas, you can attest to this because you grew up in Windsor. Like, Ontario is just a whole different beast. Like, why don't you, you guys can go on about some Ontario similarities if you want or whatever, but...
I mean, it speaks for itself. That whole Toronto Belt area in southern Ontario, like, man, just to get from one end to the other just takes hours upon hours and bumper to bumper. And it was honestly just too many people for me personally. So I'm glad I moved to a smaller town such as Kamloops, British Columbia. But I mean, great hockey towns down in southern Ontario, even in all of Ontario, for example. Like, you got the Windsor Spitfires, Peterborough Petes, two historical franchises. Love junior hockey. And you got the NHL teams there, right? Ottawa and Toronto. So, I mean, there's a big, big hockey base in Ontario. And yeah, I mean, I kind of miss it. I mean, not going to lie to you. But yeah, I don't miss the traffic. I'll tell you that for free, boys. I don't miss the traffic.
Yeah, the traffic definitely sucks.
Okay, so
What are you
you
talking
mentioned
about,
you're in
Dallas? The
school.
traffic here is outrageous right now.
Oh, right now, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's
Construction
construction,
city.
yeah. When
We're the
literally the
construction
only,
capital of the world.
yeah, tearing up downtown and the one bridge from the res to the North Shore there, just
Dude,
I
there's
don't know
like
why they do so much
construction in like
work on the
3
bridge.
different areas.
Yeah, and everything's to a
Just
snarl because
tells
no
you
one
how
knows how to zipper
small.
merge.
It tells you how small Kamloops is. There's construction in 3 areas, and the whole city is just in shambles. No one can move. Okay, so school, Daeden, you mentioned it. What are you taking? What are you, what's the program? And, give us a little bit about what's going on in the class. We want to hear about that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm at the College of Sports Media, obviously for sports media, sports broadcasting, anything in that nature. It's the only like private college in Canada that covers it, and I come out with an internship. So that's what kind of drew me in, and it's pretty nice, like getting to learn from like some of the best, in the industry, or some of the best that were in the industry. And yeah, it's definitely been a change coming like back to school after a couple of years, but it's nice. I go there every day and I take something out of it every day, and I'm excited to like see what comes next.
Yeah, and you were telling us off camera there. So you actually did turn this into a job come next season, I believe you said. So tell us a little bit about that gig and what you got going on.
Right. So next year I'm gonna be doing some play-by-play for the Central York Panthers U22 female hockey team up in Aurora, Ontario. So about like an hour or 45 minutes north of Toronto. And like you guys were talking about with the traffic, depends, 45 minutes to an hour, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be great, and I'm excited to see like what doors that opens up.
So how does that work? So you're still going to be going to school in the fall, and so you're going to be driving at night to go broadcast the games.
Yeah, yeah, more than likely.
Nice.
Our schedule's really all over the place next year, but since it's something that like is correlated with the school, I'm sure that getting time off will be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That's got to be
I'm on
exciting, man. I'm sure you're pumped for it.
yeah, I'm pumped. A little bit nervous because I've never really done any real play-by-play before. I did one volleyball game, but like I'm not a
Nice.
big volleyball guy, so
Fair enough. Well, yeah, I mean, you'll have to shoot us any kind of live feed or anything like that come the fall, and we'll definitely be passing that on. And, hope people listen. Hope people listen to Daeden, living most of our dreams. Like, we literally talked about this last episode when we talked about Bob Cole passing. Like, our love for now talking about hockey and putting ourselves in a public spectrum to be judged and compared to or agreed upon by people, it's such a humbling experience. And just to be able to say, like, you're actually broadcasting a live game, which is way more difficult than this recorded setting. Something live is way more difficult, and it's just awesome to see, man. So congrats on that.
yeah, thank you,
Congrats,
man.
man.
Thank you guys. It's awesome.
All right, what do you say? Let's get into this. So we are going to be covering the playoffs for the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the Ontario Hockey League, the Western Hockey League, and the National Hockey League today. The rounds as they've gone currently, and the breakdown and some of the leading stats, players, and goaltenders of each league. So let's start with the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. The first first round was Comeau over Charlottetown. Comeau won that 4-0. Halifax versus Acadia Bathurst Teton. Teton won that 4-0. Moncton versus Chicoutimi, 4-0 for Chicoutimi. And Cape Breton versus Rimouski, 4-1. So any thoughts on that first 4 matchups in the Quebec Major?
I mean, Rimouski, Chicoutimi, I mean, those were teams that were bottom feeders coming in. I mean, no real surprises they were going to get bounced, but I mean, like we were saying off air with Cape Breton, like they were kind of a bottom feeder a little bit too in the Maritimes division, but they went on a bit of a Cinderella story. Unfortunately, last night it came to an end against Bay Comeau Drakkar, but I mean, that's what you kind of get when you come against the number 1 seed in the playoffs, right? Like they haven't they haven't seen the Q final since 2014. So it's going to be interesting going up against Drummondville Volunteers. So that's going to be an exciting series to watch on TSN.
Yeah, I definitely think. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, no, I definitely think the biggest upset and the biggest just failure overall was the team behind me.
Biggest upset, 100%. Like I know there was a few times I was in Recliner Sports Live on TikTok quite a few times, and there was a lot of chatting amongst the peers when that round came to an end. And I heard there was like some rumblings with like the players and personnel. Like there was just something behind the scenes that wasn't quite working with certain players, and I feel personally like the chemistry just kind of got lost somewhere in transition. That whole series, like they didn't come to play. I mean, what do you have to say about that, Daeden?
I mean, when I went on to, I think it was Brady Schultz, a defenseman for the Mooseheads, his Instagram after the season, he made a post saying "Till next time, Moose Country." And I went into the comments and I was looking at some of the comments that the players posted, and one player posted, I think it was Jan Spreinart, just another forward on their team, posted "What a good season" or something like that, and then Brady Schultz replied back with the that monkey gif where he's giving the side eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, immediately right there. I was
Shit.
like, man, there's something going on in that locker room.
Yeah.
Some
Jordan
major
Dumais, the
shade.
DUI. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, and then losing
he
Jake
shouldn't have
Furlong.
answered, but
Yeah, that
yeah.
doesn't help you.
I don't know. I guess he shouldn't have answered with the monkey thing, but his teammate's an idiot. That's the guy you get rid of. One guy makes a post saying, good luck next year, and then the other guy comments that just looks stupid on the guy who did.
Yeah. I think he wants out too. I think most of them do.
Fair enough. Well, sometimes that's what you need. Clean house, move on.
Exactly.
What place did Halifax finish in the season standings?
In their division, they finished first, but in the East, they were the second. They were second seed going into the playoffs.
So they lost to a 7 seed.
Yes, they lost to a team that was 25 points behind them when they finished the regular season. Yeah, got swept.
Holy cow!
Hey man, I went through that last year with Windsor. Number 1 seed got swept by an 8 seed Kitchener Rangers, and they had Shane Wright. They went all in for Shane Wright. They had Matt Maggio, Alex Christopoulos, Shane Wright, Rodwin Dionisio, just a stacked lineup, and bam, just right in their face, swept. So I know the feeling. It sucks.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure.
You should have done more than a first round exit like that, but to get swept, boys, oh man.
Man,
Just
not even
didn't show
that
up.
was disappointing, dude. The fact that, Kamloops hosted the Memorial that year and was the first team out of the
I know.
Memorial Cup there. Yeah.
It was 4-1, boys. It was 4-1, and you blew it to Peterborough in the third period.
Did you guys get out to any of the games there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went to a couple.
Actually, our boss, so we all work together, but our boss he's an ex-Blazer alumni, so he had a bunch of tickets, and he only wanted to go to the Blazers game, so he actually gave all the other tickets to the staff whenever whatever games we wanted. So it was awesome of him to share those and give us some time to enjoy that. I was lucky enough that I actually got the finals tickets for Quebec versus Seattle, so.
I didn't want to go that day, so I just hear Riley take them.
Yeah, I only had 2 tickets, and then Dallas gave me his 2.
Dude, I was only literally down there for the merch, man. I was only there for the merch, and I'm like, all right, peace. Typical me, but you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I went to
I mean,
the Seattle Peterborough game, and then I think I went to one of the Blazers games, but I'm not sure.
yeah, no, you did. You went to the one. I remember you telling me about it. I
The
forget
the
which
best
one.
the best game I think in the entire series was these two right here. In the first meeting of the Memorial Cup when it was a 10-2 smacking by Kamloops. That was a tough game, boys.
The best game for us or the best game of the tournament?
Best game of the tournament, like 10 goals, man.
But
Right? So it was
for
just
Kamloops or
I
like
mean,
of like
it was
actual
also the best
competition?
game for Kamloops, though, too.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Didn't
only
Sean
showing.
Spearing? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good, boss.
Okay. Didn't Sean Spearing still have his jaw wired shut?
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's wild. That
and he
shows
was
some
wearing a
heart there.
bubble. Oh
Yep.
yeah, a lot of those guys on Peterborough said like he's an absolute leader, and the fact that he wanted to continue going even through London, right when they were doing their OHL Championship round, like he wanted to stick around and help his team win, and they did. Like they went on a Cinderella story, man. Like they were not poised to hoist the OHL Championship. All right, it was gonna be the London Knights, but they just
Yeah.
somehow, some way made it. So
They
that
pulled
was
it
pretty
out.
awesome.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
All right, let's jump to the other side of the Quebec first round here. This is the most Quebec made. Like, it's the weakest league in the CHL. We all know that. But, like, the series are 4-0, 4-0, 4-0, 4-1, 4-0, 4-1, 4-0, and then 1 out of 8 series 4-3. So we had Drummondville beat St. John 4-0, Rouen-Noranda win 4-1 over Gatineau, Victoriaville 4-0 over Schwinnigan, and then Sherbrooke Phoenix won 4-3 over the Blainville Brosbouilland Armada. So like that's just the most QMJHL round ever. Like 4 wins combined or 5 wins from 8 series for losing teams. It's just weak.
Well, and they also have like in the queue. I'm sure you can attest to this, Daeden. That what is it like? The last two don't make it in the league, so literally everyone else is in at the end of the year.
Yeah, they do have.
So,
I think it's 18 in the top 16 make it, but
Yeah.
so
even still, like look at the top rounds, like Halifax, like they were one of the teams that got swept. That makes it even more like what the heck.
Yeah.
an absolute WTF moment.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so after the first round, we obviously had the second round. We had Bay Comeau, whoop, shocker, sweep Acadia Bathurst Teton, and then Cape Breton, shocker, sweep of Chicoutimi, and then Drummondville won 4-2 over Sherbrooke, and Victoriaville won 4-1 over Royan-Noranda. So even that round didn't have a 7-game series, just 1 6-gamer.
Yeah, I will say it's nice to, or it was nice to see Acadie Bathurst get swept after sweeping Halifax.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
So
the
long,
Teton.
Teton.
I love the Teton.
You know what? I will say though, because Daden, we did do Acadie Bathurst. They were part of one of our randomizers quite a few episodes ago, and I ain't gonna lie to you, they got some pretty clean tarps, but
They do. Was it the
right, and
black? Was it the black one? Their alternate?
It was the
no,
maroon
it
and gold.
it's maroon and gold, yeah, but the black ones
Oh,
are slick.
yeah, those are nice.
I didn't think Bathurst was gonna be any good ever since 2018. Like I thought they would just kind of go downhill, but apparently, fuck, they still have some fight in them still to this
Yeah, I
day.
guess so. I didn't think they had it in them, but who knows?
So you guys will have to give me the update here for the semifinals. So it was Baie-Comeau versus Cape Breton. Did it finish 4-1? Because I have 3-1 here.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so 4-1, and then Drummondville versus Victoriaville. Is that one finished?
yeah, that one just finished moments ago, literally like maybe 20 minutes ago,
And
and
who won
Drummondville
that one?
took it.
So the finals, Baie-Comeau versus Drummondville, going into the QMJHL.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's jump into some points. Dakota, one of your most highly sought after draft choices for the Calgary Flames this year, brother of Jeremy Poirier, Justin Poirier, leading the way with points with 25. What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't say highly sought after, but I mean, it would be cool to bring in brothers, you know? I don't pay too much attention to the other leagues other than WHL, so kind of been quiet, right? But Poirier, I don't mind watching, just because obviously we have his brother who's a stud on defense. But yeah, no, Justin Poirier lighting it up. That's cool to see.
Yeah, he's been having an amazing season. Like he was literally the first 18-year-old since Sidney Crosby to score 50 goals in this season, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just setting records, man. Kid's unreal.
So for points, it was Poirier and then his teammate Justin Gill. So 25 for Poirier, 24 for Gill. Maxime Pellerin has 20. Ethan Gauthier, Tampa prospect, 20 points. And Cam Squires, 20 points for Cape Breton. And then in goals, obviously Justin Poirier is leading that with 17. Maxime Pellerin's 13. Justin Gill's 10. Ethan Gauthier's 10. And Cam Squires is 9. So basically the exact same 5, just in a different order. And then assists is where we get a little different here. We got Justin Gill with 14. Matthias Melovsky with 13. Antonin Vero with 11. Nix Finanko with 11. And Justin LaRose with 11. So for you, Daeden, I guess anyone there that's kind of a shock, anyone that's overperforming, or even someone who should be on that list but kind of underperformed this year.
I'm surprised that Ethan Gauthier isn't higher on that list. I know we have some really good players in the QMJHL this year, but like Ethan Gauthier is like a very good draft pick, and last year he lit it up with Sherbrooke in the playoffs. So I'm just surprised that being one of the top guys on that Drummondville team, he's not putting up some more points.
Makes you wonder, maybe they're playing defensive, because technically, he only has 20 points and he's leading their team. So maybe it's the coach. Maybe they're playing a defensive style where maybe Sherbrooke was playing more of an all-out offense, like counterattack type of deal, where that's what they were looking for. Maybe I could be wrong, but maybe Drummondville is just getting there via defense.
Yeah, you never know. They do have Halifax's coach from last year, so maybe he's running some of their strategies.
Yeah, could be. Goalies, I don't really know many of these goalies. Maybe there's a surprise, maybe there's not. So goals against average leaders: Charles Edward Gravel with 1.99, so under 2. That's incredible to be under 2 goals against in the playoffs. Riley Mercer with 2.07. Antoine Keller of Acadia Bathurst. Sorry, Riley Mercer's from Drummondville. Acadia Bathurst, Antoine Keller, 2.35. Mathis Fernandez from Shawinigan, 2.68. And Olivier Ciarlo, 2.75 for the Armada. Any surprises there in terms of the goalies that are actually keeping the puck out of the net for the goals against average?
Actually, the one guy that surprised me coming into the playoffs was Antoine Keller from Acadie Bathurst, and he actually came in and backstopped the Titan to a tremendous win over the Mooseheads. So, shout out to him, and yeah, he was definitely my biggest dark horse coming in. I didn't see him playing like he was and playing like he did.
So he is even second in save percentage. So Riley Mercer for Drummondville leads that with 926. Antoine Keller second with 925. Nathan Darvo from Victoriaville is third, 920. Charles Edward Gravel is fourth with 918. And Olivier Ciarlo, again, don't know his name, is 915. And wins are a little suspect because that's more of a team thing, but we do have the wins leaders. Obviously, the 2 teams that are in the final, we have Gravel and Mercer. They are both with 11. And then you have Darvo and Ruchia with 9. And then this is where it gets crazy. Like those 4 teams, 11, 11, 9, and 9. And then the next winningest goalie, 5. Like, it just drops off. That just shows you, again, we talked about just the difference in the skill or the way that these playoff series go. It just dropped right off.
Well, those numbers are going to be different too now, wouldn't they? Wouldn't Gravel be at 12 now? And Mercer at 12?
Yeah, they'd be at 12. Yeah, they'd be at 12 now. And then shutouts, I thought I'd just throw this in there. Nicholas Ruccia from Cape Breton had 2. Remy Delafontaine from Chicoutimi had 1. William Rousseau from Rwanda had 1. Charles Edward Gravel had 1. And Nathan Darvo had 1 as well. So anything else on the QMJHL, boys, that you guys want to talk about, throw in there? Go for it.
Dan
I got a
Squires
stat I
carry.
might. Yeah, exactly, Dally. I got a stat about the Cape Breton Eagles first line. The QMJHL posted it today. Squires had 20 points and he was a plus 15, and Jacob Newcomb he has his 17 points and he was a plus 9, and Cam McDonald was a plus 13 with 10 points. So I mean, like, that's pretty crazy right there. And I know they didn't get the job done versus Bay Comeau, but shout out to Dally's home route team. I know you got roots out in Cape Breton, so
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, like, they haven't had much to root for, like, in many years, right? Like, you've had good prospects like Drake Batherson, Ivan, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Marc-Andre Fleury, but, like, this is some damn good playoff hockey that the Cape Breton Eagles gathered around to just play for the fans. And it's actually kind of cool to see how, over the years, like, they have become Hockey Island. Like, I know Charlottetown Islanders, like, they could be considered Hockey Island, but no, man, like, they've really revitalized, like, hockey in Cape Breton, which I think is awesome because they deserve it, man. Like, there's a lot of good hockey fans there that deserve to watch good hockey. And you know what? The season obviously didn't end like what anyone there wanted it to do, but you're going up against the number 1 seed in the league. But hats off to them. Like, honestly, just hats off. Like, and you got to be excited for next year. Like, I'm hoping that the Center 200 gets upgraded to one day host a Memorial Cup for the first time ever, because I think the Memorial Cup deserves to be back in Nova Scotia as a host, whether it be Halifax again or Cape Breton. But I think Cape Breton should host, because I know, to like, you hear rumors like, oh, the general manager, or sorry, the owners are like a little bit greedy. They would never try to fund, upgrades for the arena. And obviously the Q's a smaller market than the O and the Dub. But still, like, if you're devoted, you have a good devoted hockey base in your hometown, like, why not? Why not just go? It goes a long way. Like, the amount of tourism and revenue you bring back into the community for a Memorial Cup is insane. Like, Dak and Riley, like, you guys seen how many
Mhm.
people came from far and wide to here in Kamloops, right? Like, it is
Yep.
phenomenal the amount of support that this tournament gathers every June. Like Windsor in 2017, that was my first Memorial Cup ever. It's just crazy, the droves and droves of people that come here, and the town or city that's being hosted just booms within that 2 weeks. So I think, all in all, for a smaller town in the queue to host would honestly benefit it from it greatly for years to come.
Well, what did they say? Didn't we pull in 80,000 tourists from the Memorial Cup? Like, not consistently all at once, but for the entirety of the Memorial Cup, we pulled in 80,000 tourists to the city of Kamloops for these games, for this event, for lots of different reasons. But that was kind of their number, I believe, for that,
Which is
which is
phenomenal.
crazy. Yeah, we
That's
have
almost like our
100,000 people here.
population.
Exactly. So, yeah.
You know what?
That's crazy.
Surprisingly, a pretty friendly environment too. I think I only heard of like one fight breaking out.
Fair enough. I had an old guy from Seattle threaten my cousin when he accidentally poked him in the back of the head with a foam finger, and he told him he'll rip it off his hand next time. And then when Seattle lost in this was at the final, when they lost to Quebec, we just waved him goodbye, said, "Get out of our country,"
Damn.
because he was wearing his Seattle get up.
I'm kind of glad that the Quebec Rempart kind of beat Seattle. Stay salty. It's a 4-hour drive back to Seattle. See ya. Get out of Kamloops, boys. Start the
Exactly.
bus.
Although one of our very few Kamloops people who have made it to the WHL out of like our 50 did play pretty good for Seattle. So I cheered for them for a little bit. But
What's even saltier, boys, is that in '92, Kamloops beat Seattle as Seattle was hosting the Memorial Cup, and we won the first Memorial Cup in Seattle. But then they came here in 2023, and they weren't able to win. So it's just even saltier for them. Oh, I love it.
No,
You guys
what
weren't
else
good enough.
sucks? You know what else sucks is benching Tej again, given the year he's having right now.
Yep.
Oh, exactly. Kelowna took that opportunity.
What a
Did
steal!
they even play? Did they even play Rempe? Like, I didn't even know Matt Rempe was on that team. Like,
Oh yeah,
I feel like he didn't even get ice time
him
in
and Jared
the
Davidson
Memorial
were
Cup.
like two of the tallest guys on Seattle, and that's how I always remembered him. Was like, oh, look at that tall fuck over there skating around at warm ups. Like, it's Matt Rempe because he's one tall MF, right? So
He didn't. He did not impose himself in the game like he does in the NHL though. Like
yeah, you don't remember so many hard hits as he does
Quebec
now,
was
right?
tiny. They were tiny, and I would have
But they're
noticed him on.
fast.
Yeah, but I
That's
don't know.
one
He
thing.
keeps up.
I know you've watched quite a few Q games, Dated, but this is what I've noticed. My personal take is that the Q players are so much faster than anybody else out of all other leagues. It is crazy to watch them.
There's a lot of short guys though, but
Yeah.
it's the short French guys that are just like fast, really fast.
Well, I do know that Quebec takes a lot more pride in their skating training than, especially BC. Like, growing up in BC, you do like 10 practices and then they give you like a skating coach. And it's like the skating coach shows up and no one's paying attention and everyone's bored. They just want pucks, yada, yada, yada. Or like guilty myself. Thinking back on it now, like, man, I wish it was like 10 skating practices to one like puck practice, because by the time you get to like junior, I was slow boots. It was over for me once that happened.
Oh yeah, I know. It's crazy how much like practice and how much like attention to detail goes into the edge work and the skating like over there. They're on another level in their like development somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Obviously
just
not
something
as
that they've
close to
always done.
Ontario, but like they're like out of the three provinces, like or out of the provinces in the queue, they're definitely the top producer.
Yeah, and when I was 12 or 10, maybe it was like 10, we had one of our rep teams here that I was playing on, and we got these two kids from Quebec. They were twins, and man, they were just so much better than us. Like, they just came in and they were better skaters. They knew hockey better. Like, they had more hockey sense. Like, they just dominated. And then, you know what? As they got older and they lived in BC longer, you could tell like it kind of dipped in terms of like the overall production. They did play fantastic years in the KIJHL here in the Kootenay International, but other than that, like, that's kind of where it ended, unfortunately.
Oh well, damn.
But either way, they were great players, and again, from Quebec, just dominated us. All right, let's jump to the O. Dally, and now you're home. Round one, Oshawa 4-2 over Barrie. North Bay 4-1 over Kingston. Ottawa 4-2 over Brantford. Sudbury 4-1 over Mississauga. So let's start with those four. Let's just break those four down. Any shocks, any surprises? What do we got?
Kitchener.
What?
That's the net.
I know we'll get to them, but
Okay.
I'm just saying, out of the entire OHL playoffs, Kitchener is the one that I am most shocked by.
That made it?
No,
Or
They
did
won
good?
4-2.
Oh, the one.
They won
they got
4-2 over
thumped. They got thumped.
No, they won.
Yeah, Kitchener beat Erie,
Well,
dude.
in the first round.
Okay,
they won
first round.
4-2.
So I'm thinking when they
First round.
faced London. Ignore me.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
just
London.
the first
We're
round.
not even there yet. Sorry,
bud.
we're not even
It's
there yet.
London, bud.
They're the best team in the OHL history for a reason, Dallas.
Buddy, no, they're not. They only have 2 Memorial Cups. See ya.
That strikes a nerve, Daeden. He hates London. He absolutely hates London.
Not a London guy.
I'm a Windsor boy. I'm bred to hate London, man.
What is
Biggest, one of
London?
the best
London's
rivalries.
had such a, like, in their years, dude, they've had, like, the craziest team of players, though.
Yeah, they have the
have.
best alumni. If you looked at their alumni, I don't think there's any CHL team with better alumni than the London Knights.
Yeah, like the guys like Marner, Domi, like Dvorak.
Hitchcock.
They've got a list. Oh yeah.
Nemesnikov.
We don't talk about him.
I'm not talking about him. Hey, he
Corey
just
Perry,
lost half his
even.
face. All right.
I think
Oh, yeah,
Oshawa
he's
is like close to having a good alumni as well.
Who did Gretzky play for in the Q? Or I mean in the O?
Wayne Gretzky. I think he
Wasn't it
played
Mississauga?
for. No, Mississauga wasn't even a team.
I'm looking it up.
I think it was the Sioux, actually.
The Greyhounds.
Yeah, I think he was a Greyhound.
You're right. You're right. You're definitely right. I'm
I don't
still
know
looking
who
it
else
up.
they have, but they have Gretzky, so.
Yeah. Oh, he was
The
also
Sioux's a great
Peterborough
team.
Pete. He was a Peterborough Pete for 3 games
Wow.
before he was a Sioux Greyhound. 3 games, 3 assists with Peterborough. So the greatest Peterborough Pete to ever live. And then Sioux Greyhounds.
Nah, if you want to. Sorry, I just want to say, because someone who actually fully played for Peterborough was Stevie Yzerman, Stevie Y, so I'd give him the best Peterborough Pete ever. That title, you know.
You're saying that Steve Eisman's
Yeah,
better
but
than
they had the
Gretzky?
best player in the world for
3
3
games. For 3.
He's still a Peterborough alumni,
Technically.
but his Sioux stats were crazy. 182 points in 63 games. He had 112 assists in 60. That's 2 assists a game.
Jesus.
Over 2 assists a game. He had 70 goals. He
I
had more
mean,
than a goal
you'd
per
think
game.
with how many points he put up in the end, he would have like triple that in the O, you know?
Yeah, but he was like 17.
Yeah, I know, but guy was getting 200 assist seasons in the NHL and he couldn't crack that in the O.
Yeah, but so his rookie season he got 104 points with Edmonton.
I'm just saying, I feel like the points should be doubled or tripled in the O.
He was 17.
I'm just saying, dude.
Have you seen like Youngblood and stuff, man? Youngblood, dude, those guys just got beat when they were young. Any stars, they just were hacked and whacked. You thought you were the next best thing, and everyone just beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, that's exactly Shazowski, bud.
Which one? Dave?
The biggest bust
Yeah.
in Blazers history, dude.
Well, technically not in Blazers history.
Well, he was the highest Blazer, so he'd be the
Yeah.
biggest bust.
But he was a fantastic Blazer. He just was a bust of an NHL player.
Fair enough.
Like Alexander Diego.
Hey, we don't talk about him. He's fantastic. The next god, basically. Okay, so London won 4-0 over Flint. Saginaw 4-0 over Owen Sound. Sioux 4-0 over Guelph. See, there's Gretzky again. And then Kitchener 4-2 over Erie. So more sweeps in the first 4 games had no sweeps. That one had 3. But Saginaw, we knew, they built up. London built up. Sioux built up a little bit. And then Kitchener was, extremely talented team as well.
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking seeing Saginaw just kick out the Sioux like that last round. Even though they're the hosts.
I was just going to ask, is this the year Saginaw's hosting?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. May 24th. Which is, holy shit, it is coming up fast.
I know. They're about to be knocked out. We'll get into that. But round 2, Oshawa 4-0 over Ottawa. North Bay 4-0 over Sudbury. London 4-0 over Kitchener. And Saginaw 4-3 over Sioux. Go ahead, Dally. Give your Kitchener rundown.
You guys trade for Edward Chalet? Is that you say it?
Chalet, Sale.
Chalet.
That's what
Sale,
their fire
the English version.
Yeah.
And you got guys like, Carson Reichhoff, you got Matthew Saab. Boys, how do you just get swept like that? Is this London saying to Windsor, hey boys, you got embarrassed last season, so we'll just do you a favor and embarrass the 8th seed last season. That is now the number 1 seed this season. Oh my Christ. Did they ever get slapped around, man? Personally, when I made that TikTok, I thought Kitchener was going to beat out the likes of London, Oshawa, in the OHL finals. Boy, was I down bad. Wow. I should not have slept on London like that, boys.
Well, you don't cheer for... Well, you always sleep on London, but you don't cheer for the team that's the Rangers, man. Never cheer for the Rangers.
Buddy, what do you mean never cheer for the Rangers? Buddy, don't ever sleep on the Rangers, man.
But you just said no, never sleep on London.
Yeah.
When was the last time Kitchener or New York Rangers won anything? I can't say Texas Rangers because that would actually backfire in my face. But
1994.
and what about Kitchener?
They've won 2 Memorial Cups. Can't give you off
Recently?
the top of my head what year. Nope. It
No,
was
I'm
like
not
back in
sure
the.
either.
Pre or post Rangers Stanley Cup win?
Boys, we got to look this shit up real quick.
Well, you do that. We'll jump to round 3. Oshawa is up 3-1 on North Bay. I don't know if that one finished, and London is up 3-1 on Saginaw. If anyone has an update on that.
Oh, the Generals and Battalion are going into double overtime right now.
Oh, okay.
If the Gens
Battalion
win,
really
I
fighting
think
to
I
stay
might be
in.
heading.
I hope the
Sorry.
Jennies win, man.
If they win, I might be heading to Oshawa to watch a couple games.
Let's go. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
Now they're my pick to go because I hope they beat out London and for the the Western
Yeah,
champions.
but you can't sleep on London, dude.
Oh, it said.
No. Riley said I always sleep on London, but then I said, well, I guess I can't anymore because they keep beating the team that I want to win. So can't beat them, join them.
I
Well,
just
you
went
just
onto
said you're
the
cheering for
OHL.
Osh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I just went onto the OHL app and it says 5-4 North Bay, second OT.
Nice.
So I think
Is that series tied?
They might have
No,
just
3-2.
won, and 3-2 now for Oshawa.
Isn't this also like the
Yeah.
final games in North Bay Battalion history? Aren't they the ones moving?
No, they moved like earlier from I think it was
Oh, right.
Brampton, but now Mississauga's moving to
Mississauga.
Brampton.
Right. Okay, where's Brampton going?
Oh, Brampton just doesn't have a team right now.
Oh, right, because they were the Bulldogs and then they're gone, right?
No, you're thinking Hamilton. Brantford. You're thinking no. Brantford got the Bulldogs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's
But they
Brantford and
were
then
Brampton.
Brampton. Yeah.
Wasn't Brampton last year? They were the Brampton Bulldogs, or was it that the AHL team? There has been a Brampton Bulldogs.
The Belleville
there was
Bulldogs.
there was the Brampton Beast AHL team or ECHL team.
I'm losing it. I literally have thought my whole life that it was the Brampton Bulldogs.
Mr. Riley, Kitchener Rangers Memorial Cup champions, 1982 and 2003.
Ooh,
There's your answer.
So
20
pre
years
NHL
ago.
Stanley Cup winning team.
Yep.
Don't cheer for the Rangers. Points. We got Beckett Sinecki, 22 for Oshawa. Sandis Vilmanis, 22 for North Bay. Callum Ritchie, 21 for Oshawa. And Dalen Wakely, 19 for North Bay. That's a battle. This is literally that whole series. And then the fifth player is Dylan Rubrook, 18 from Oshawa. So it's 100% Oshawa and North Bay leading the OHL in points.
Oh, dude. Romani and Wakely are nuts for North Bay. Holy Christ.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow on TikTok, like Wilbs Hockey. He posted a lot of stuff about the OHL, and he got me into North Bay this year. And like, even around the World Juniors, when like DeVicentis was playing well, and Romani was heating up, and Vilmanis went to the World Juniors for Latvia. Like, they were a fun team to watch, and it's carried on into the playoffs. And I don't know, they might make it a good series here.
And who was their D-man that got called up?
Ty Nelson.
Yeah.
Nelson, that's right. Yeah, so he got called up by Canada.
He's actually a good player too.
Oh yeah, he's a good player. He reminds me of like Morgan Riley type defender. A little bit smaller, but hard-nosed, shot blocker, good skill.
Yep.
Like that's who he reminds me of. Let's go to goals. We had Dalen Wakely, 12 for North Bay. Beckett Sinecki, 10 for Oshawa. Sandis Vilmanis, 9 for North Bay. Finally, someone different. We have Casper Haltonen from London with 9, and Dylan Rubrook with 8 from Oshawa as well. And then assists, Kitchener, Philip Masar. I mean, he showed up, obviously. 15 assists for him. Callum Ritchie, Oshawa, 15. Sandis Vilmanis, 13 from North Bay. Max McHugh, 12 from London. And Beckett Sinecki, 12 from Oshawa. So anyone on the player side that was a surprise, anyone that was a letdown, anything like that for you guys?
Well, I'm surprised that the OHL MVP of the year, Easton Cowan, isn't on any of those lists. Like he had
Yeah,
it
Cowboy.
was like a record-breaking point streak this year, and I don't know, maybe he just hasn't showed up as much as maybe people thought he would have in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least his team's still doing good. Like if they got knocked out and he wasn't really doing anything, then I guess that would hurt more. But
Yeah,
he's lucky. I guess he's fortunate that they're just keeping motoring through.
Him and Denver Barkley, man, holy, too good
Yeah,
this year.
their whole team, they've got a bunch of guys that I didn't know of before this year, and now they went on this run, and like Sam Dickinson, like Casper Haltonen, guys like that, Max McHugh, didn't really know like of them at all.
Dude, that's literally my biggest question. Like, who's gonna go higher as a defenseman, like Zane Perrick or Sam Dickinson? Like, I'm ready to watch the draft now. Like, I want to know who's
Dickinson.
gonna go higher.
Dickinson, just because he's taller. That's it. It's just the short biased in the NHL. Perrick will be dropped. I think that Perrick's going to drop to the 20s. I think he's a top 5 pick, but I think he's going to drop to the 20s because of his size. Like we look at our Blazer Logan Stankoven, who's literally dominating for the Dallas Stars this year, dropping to the second round because his size. And he just proves everyone wrong. So Perrick will
Yeah,
drop
he's
for
literally
sure. They
proving them all
always
wrong.
do. Like you can go through it every year. You can say, okay, this guy, he's a top 10 pick, but he's 5'8", and they drop every time.
If he would have got called up sooner, he could have been in the Calder talks.
For sure.
The
I
way
think
he was going off.
he probably should have been anyways, but it is what it is. Save percentage, goalie time. We have Andrew Oak from Saginaw, 938, tied with Sam Hildebrand from Barrie, 938. So good for, Hildebrand did his part in Barrie's short time in the playoffs. Jacob Oster from Oshawa, 932. Mike McIver, 913 for North Bay. And Charlie Schenkel, 913 from the Sioux. So, man, like North Bay versus Oshawa must just be a beauty series. Like those guys are just battling. Top goalies, top players, all just head to head.
It's hard to determine now after their second overtime win tonight by North Bay. Like it's hard to see who's going to take the East. It really is.
Yeah, they only got to win 2 more, North Bay. It's doable.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Oshawa took a 3-0 series lead and really like dominated the first games as they did. Like North Bay has the roster to bring home championship no problem, and they kind of just let down the first like 3 games of the series.
Yeah.
Taking their foot off the gas for sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wins for goalies. London, Michael Simpson, 11, tied with Jacob Oster of Oshawa, 11. Mike McIver has 8 for North Bay. Charlie Schenkel has 6 for the Sioux. And Andrew Oak has 5 for Saginaw. So again, I guess like all these goalies that are 5th overall in these win categories, they only make it to 5. It's crazy. And then shutouts, 2 for Schenkel, 2 for Oster, 1 for Hildebrand, 1 for Oak. And then newcomer to the list, Jacob Vondras for Sudbury gets 1 as well. So anything else to add on the O before we move on to the WHL?
Yeah, hope London gets thumped.
Sleeping on London. A meeting you didn't even make in 5 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get to the dub. We got round 1, first 4 games. Saskatoon 4-1 over Prince Albert. Swift Current 4-0 over Lethbridge. Moose Jaw 4-0 over Brandon, and Red Deer 4-1 over Medicine Hat. Any surprises there coming out of the dub for us?
No, I knew
I mean,
Brandon, PA. They were done from the start.
I figured maybe Medicine Hat should have had a better series. I mean, you got Caden Lidstrom and McKenna.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
thought it'd be a harder battle, you know?
Yeah,
I was hoping
definitely
they'd take that series.
Yeah, I'm actually a Red Deer Rebels fan. I love the like lineup that the Medicine Hat Tigers have like now, like Dakota just mentioned, they got McKenna and Caden Lindstrom. Hopefully Lindstrom goes to the Habs at the draft. But yeah, I'm a big Rebels guy, so I'm glad they got to the first round.
Yeah, I think Chaz was like their top performer too that entire series against Medicine Hat.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah, I'm
gonna look
surprised
tough
by that.
if what's his name there? The defenseman, former Blazer.
For Lidst, or yeah, I know who you're talking about. What's his
Oh,
name?
Mats Lindgren.
Matt
Yeah,
Lindgren.
it'd be a tough look if Lindgren won a cup before the Blazers.
Kamloops? Don't worry. Round 2, we get the guarantee that he doesn't.
Oh, right. I didn't even realize round
Yeah.
2. Tough.
Second half of round 1, Prince George 4-0 over Spokane, Portland 4-0 over
Easy.
Victoria, Everett 4-1 over Vancouver, and Kelowna Rockets 4-2 over Wenatchee. Our bitter rivals, Daeden, by the way, the Kelowna Rockets. Can't stand those guys. It's our nearest city in terms of population size, compete level for hockey and all that, and yeah, we hate those guys.
I mean, the tough thing is I don't hate Kelowna. I love
Yeah, but you're
Kelowna's
not
roster.
born here.
No, I get that, but like, I get their rival, but like, I just think their team is always sick.
Oh, they are. They're the London Knights of the WHL. Full on.
Oh, they are.
The best alumni. Everyone who was a Kelowna Rocket literally goes back and lives in Kelowna when they retire. Like, it's just such a crazy city. It's so beautiful there. It's so warm, but I hate them. I hate every one of them.
Have the Kelowna Rockets ever come up in your Gameday Tarps randomizer?
Not yet, no.
No? Oh man, I love their jerseys.
Oh, it's so ugly.
The red ones too.
They're so nice.
So, do you know what that dragon is on the front of their jersey?
Not 100%.
So they're in the Okanagan area, so they have a lake called Okanagan, and there's reportedly a lake monster called the Ogopogo that's just like a massive snake that goes through the water. They made it look more like a crocodile dragon on their jersey, but that's kind of the gist of what their logo is.
Okay, yeah, I never knew that actually, but I like the jersey. I have heard of the Ogopogo before though.
Yeah, that's I'm sure it's reported in more places, but they say it's in the Okanagan. Like, I think it just makes sense for the name.
Boys, should I pull the trigger on a game-worn Andrew Cristall jersey? It's the red one with the Ogopogo. Come on, should I do it?
Hey, if you buy that, I'll burn it. I'll burn it for it. 950. I will burn it for you.
It's game-worn, brother. Come on.
Dude, he's not even that good.
I mean, he's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He's 32nd overall.
Pretty good, buddy. He was the
100
first
point
guy.
seasons, bud.
He was decent.
He was the first guy signed from his draft, and he went second round.
Yeah, that's just Washington being dumb.
Buddy, that was Bedard's draft.
Yeah. Chicago was busy giving $4 million to Foligno and Perry in the beginning of offseason. They weren't worried about Bedard.
I'm just saying.
But like, I didn't get an answer, so
You're probably gonna do it.
Oh, you probably shouldn't do it.
Oh, Dakota, I didn't tell you this. I told the other boys, but I got a Brantford Bulldogs jersey I just bought from Kelowna today, so it's gonna get shipped.
How much?
Believe it or not, it's actually only $20.
Oh, that's not bad. How much is
Yeah,
shipping?
it's just blank. I gave the guy $50 total just to ship it. I'll get Mason McTavish on the back. Stud.
Oh, it was Peterborough? Okay, sorry.
He used to play for Peterborough, and then he got traded to, then Hamilton, now Brantford, but...
I got lost in the whole Kelowna part, so I was like, why would you put McTavish on a Kelowna jersey? But never mind.
No, he's talking about getting a Cristall jersey. You don't just rip Cristall's name off.
Yeah, I know, but...
Is it signed, Dallas? You said signed,
It's
right?
signed, yeah. Signed game worn, yeah.
I don't know.
So kind of worth it, you know?
We're talking about $1,000.
Buddy, is it
I
worth
don't
it?
care, buddy.
Okay, then
I spent $300
buy...
on a Flames jersey and got it signed for free.
That's true.
True by Connor Zary.
better than almost 1,000.
And so Daeden, we're looking at jerseys for ourselves, and like, dude, those are only $600, Dally. Like, you want to drop $600 on some jerseys? Like, let's order our jerseys.
Whoa, okay. What Riley's trying to say is like altogether $600.
Yeah, $600 for 6 jerseys.
Not each.
Yeah, it's $100 a jersey.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
600
you're willing to
bucks?
spend. You're willing to spend 900 on Cristal, buddy. You might as well just spend 6 for us. Drop the bill, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Fuck.
Yeah, buddy.
Fuck, and they could be game worn too. You know, just hit up the rink. You know, they could be game worn too.
It would depreciate in value. It would go from $100 to 5. Be like, some loser wore this and it stinks now. What do I want this for?
Nah, dude, go give it to like Emmett Finney or something. Just be like, yo, can you just wear this for like 2 seconds?
Yeah, 7th round draft pick. That'd go up in like $5 in value.
Hey, buddy, we know Stankoven's parents, bud.
That's true.
Really?
That's true. We could yeah.
That's
my brother
crazy.
grew up around
Our
his
boss
age.
is best friends with his dad.
How does that work out?
And his wife does my
they just
girlfriend's
live here.
hair.
Oh, that's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, we work on their pool and stuff. So we're in the pool industry, so like we work on their pool and stuff too. So we're around them quite a bit. But they're really nice people, and just you can see why he's such a hardworking kid. Like I remember, like I'd be at the gym when I was 18, and like this little 7-year-old or 8-year-old kid would come in the gym, and he was like lifting as much as me, and I was like, "Jeez, this kid's wild." So he was only like 2'5" then, because he's only like 5'8" now. So he was so tiny, but hard worker.
I played Chell against Stankoven and lost, so just gonna put that out there too.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, he was over at a family dinner night.
Just ripping a quick game of Chell with Logan Stankoven, no big deal.
Dude, I was smacking him for the first 2 periods, dude. 3rd period, he killed it.
Turned on the heat.
He did.
Always
He's like,
been
no
an
way,
NHL
I'm
player.
losing to this kid. He's like, no way.
You gave Dakota a sliver of hope.
And don't even
Right?
try to lie. Like you were sweating bullets. You were up after 2 periods, and you were like, "Fuck, I gotta close this out."
No, dude, I was like, dude, I'm
That's
so
just-
pumped I'm beating this kid right now. And then, he just killed me.
Yeah.
Was he in the game? Was he in the game yet then? I guess not. Probably not.
No, I think he had a blank picture at the time though,
Oh, okay.
because this was pre-draft. So he
Who did he end up using to beat you?
Montreal.
His favorite team, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his
He's a
favorite
Habs
team
fan.
actually. Yeah.
Okay, Stank.
His favorite player too, apparently, is Mike Camilleri.
So, buddy,
too.
you should rip Gallagher's name off that
Nice.
because you already got 11 on it, dude. Put Stanky on it.
Stank on my Habs jersey. That might work out sometime if he ever gets traded, but I don't think it's looking like that.
Yeah, probably not. Who knows?
Yeah,
though,
and
like,
then the
they'll have to
story,
trade to get
and
it
then the
banned.
story behind the Zeri jersey. I was doing a liner for his billet family, and he just got drafted that year. And so I ordered their reverse retro with the Blasty, and I got his Blazer number put on it. And his billet dad was like, "Yo, do you got something for Zeri to sign?" Because I was wearing a Flame shirt that day, and I brought my jersey over, and Buddy signed it for me. It was sick.
No way, that's actually sick.
Yeah. Yeah,
I have no sign, like nothing signed or anything.
I have lots of Blazers stuff, but like I have a Daryl Sador signed stick, and actually we work on Daryl Sador's pool now. He's the owner of the Blazers. So
Yeah, this guy
you see
actually
Daryl all
texts
the
Daryl
time
Sador
now.
on the reg, just so you know.
He texts me all the time. He needs help with his pool and stuff, so I'm always texting him about his pool and whatnot. But he's a funny guy. So we were talking about his kid because his kid was on the Blazers this year as a 20-year-old, and then he got traded at the deadline so he could go try and win, which obviously they got knocked out. Who was he on again? Lethbridge? Was it Lethbridge? Lethbridge, yeah, I got traded to Lethbridge. But so there's tons of like Memorial Cup. I know I ran into Shane Doan because he's the owner.
Shit.
So the Blazers owners are Jerome McGinley, Shane Doan, Daryl Sador, Mark Recchi, and Tom Ghilardi, who's the owner of the Dallas Stars, because he's from Kamloops. So those are the 5 owners of the Blazers. So we have really good ownership group here, and then lots of alumni come back. Matt Barzell was here. I ran into Barzell when I was talking to a guy that I grew up with, Ryan Gropp, he was on his line in Seattle. They played together. So lots of guys are here all the time. We're very similar to Kelowna. Kelowna gets definitely a lot more NHL guys, but Kamloops is pretty close. We get a lot of guys too.
I forgot that. I forgot that Barzal played for the Blazers too. I thought he was just the Thunderbird.
Oh, sorry, just Thunderbirds. Yeah, sorry. No, he came. He just came because he knew Ryan Gropp, who lives in Canada.
Are you sure he didn't?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought I was.
Barzal never played for the Blazers.
Damn.
Yeah,
Would have been nice though.
Yeah, would have.
But yeah, even the most winningest coach in WHL history, Don Hay, I get to chat with him a few times. We're building a pool just next door to him. He's a really nice guy, man. He's got some great hockey stories that I hear all the time from our boss, and just a really standout guy. He's been coaching since the '80s, and he had a few stints with the Blazers. He obviously coached the Giants. It's pretty cool. Just the people you meet around here, it's awesome. We are such a diverse and hockey strong community, which is awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of older and former players and coaches and just people that have hockey icons out that way. So that's pretty sick.
There is for sure. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, let's jump on to round 2. So Dallas Mads Lindgren, Dak Mads Lindgren. Red Deer lost 4-0 to Saskatoon, so they were out. Moose Jaw beat Swift Current 4-1. Prince George 4-1 over Kelowna, and then Portland 4-0 over Everett. So that was the end of TJ Ginla. But honestly, those guys over at the U18s like McKenna, Ginla, they're just
our own Harrison Brunick.
Yep.
They played today too, I think, and they won 4-0. Because I know McKenna got an assist, yeah. Brunick got 2 assists.
Was that the quarterfinal game?
Yep.
Okay, damn, I didn't even know that happened.
I don't want to see that American kid keep scoring, because Kucherov holds the record at U18s for points, and there's an American kid who's just 2 back now. I forget his name. But
James Haggins?
Yeah, Haggins. He's getting so close. And I'm like, no, leave Kuch's record alone.
Yeah, Haggins is putting up he's putting up crazy numbers right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was 2 points back with 2.5 games to go or something. So it was that's crazy.
He might beat it.
He probably will. But it was McDavid was at 20. Bedard was at 20. And he was at 19. So he was right there with all these elite NHL players for U18 scoring. And then McKenna's at 15, which is the most ever for a 16-year-old at the U18s. So these guys are just killing it.
Are you talking about Nikita Kucherov?
Yeah, Nikita Kucherov at the U18s.
Oh, shit.
He holds the record with 21 points in a single tournament.
I got this old vintage Rempar hat. I'm pretty sure his fucking signature was on here somewhere. But that guy is a stud, man. I can't believe your Lightning lost in the first round.
I know where you live. I know where that is.
I'm so happy that Tampa's out, dude.
Dallas was telling me to make a
TikTok.
I was like, dude, things will go flying. There's no way. We'll get into it when the NHL comes around in a minute here, because we will. I don't want to talk for 45 minutes straight. People will shut this thing off. Final round, the round that we're in right now, Saskatoon and Moose Jaw tied 2-2, and Portland. Oh, well, I know they're 3-2 now with Prince George. Do we know an update of the Saskatoon Moose Jaw series?
Currently new.
Could still be 2-2.
Oh shoot! It was 4-0 for the Blades, and now it's 4-4.
Okay.
In the third, and it's going to overtime.
Holy
Boys,
God.
we're getting some overtime tonight, or what? Holy.
That is crazy. Denton Matejchuk with 2 goals in the third period.
Had a boy
he's
Fraser Minton. Right on. Ex-Blazer scored. Got the opening in the first. Right on.
This is an audacious thing to say, and I'm just going to say it. He might be a top 10 captain in WHL history. Denton
Oh,
Matejchuk.
Daeden, 100%.
He is
easily
an unreal leader of his team. Like, I don't know how he wasn't. He wasn't captain at the World Juniors, was he?
that
Or
was
did he
Minton.
Yeah, I can't believe that it didn't go to Matejchuk. Like,
Yeah, I
Minton,
agree with you there.
Minton wasn't even the captain of his own team until he
Well, he
came
was.
back
No,
from
he
the
was.
World
Yeah,
Juniors.
yeah.
For like a week,
Yeah.
1 week, and they
then
got traded.
him. They traded him. But, like, oh. But, I mean, speaking of, like, points leaders and stuff, like, Jagger Firkus, Moose Jaw, 24 points. Right behind him, Matejchuk, 23 points. Nate Danielson, 20 for Portland. Igor Sidorov for Saskatoon, 19. And Braden Jagger, 19 for Moose Jaw. So your draft pick for Pittsburgh there, Dally. Doing some good. Goals, Sidorov leads with 13. Firkus with 10. Jagger with 10. Tija Ginla finished with 9 when Kelowna got eliminated. And Matthew Savoy with 8 for Moose Jaw.
I'm hoping Moose Jaw goes all the way, man. To
Yeah.
C4 or PG.
No, not PG, man.
Dude, PG versus Moose Jaw. Why not?
Because PG is a trash
No, I'd
place.
want to see that too. I don't want to see Portland.
Like, okay, I mean Riley Height leads that team for PG. Like, I know they're a good team, but like, have you been to Prince George?
Well, I'm not cheering for the city.
just-
I'm just cheering for the team, dude.
If you cheer for the team, you cheer for the city, but
No,
it's literally in the name.
No,
It's in the
no.
you're not just cheering for Cougars everywhere. That's just weird.
I could.
Assists, Matejchuk 17, Danielson 16, Riley Height 15, Jagger Fergus 14, and Trevor Wong of Saskatoon 12. Any surprises you guys think in the player side?
I wouldn't
thought
really
Zach-
say. Oh, go ahead, Dallas.
Oh, quickly, I was just gonna say, like, I'm surprised Zach Funk isn't just lighting it up in the playoffs as much as he was in the regular season. Like, 64 goals, like, holy! And then he just got signed as well. We were mentioning
Yep.
Andrew Cristal by the Capitals. He also just got signed by the Capitals, which was pretty good. Congrats to him.
He was undrafted too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was undrafted last year, and then they just picked him up. So good
How-
move by Washington, boys.
How no one picks these guys up? Like, you know, oftentimes they never turn out. Like, if you look at Tampa Bay, they signed Alex Barre-Boulet after he dominated the QMJHL. Hasn't really worked out. He's played maybe like 100 NHL games over 5 seasons now. He's like 27 years old, but I mean, they signed him, and he in terms of like the AHL, he's dominant. He's an absolutely dominant AHL player.
How's your
One guy
Wranglers
that-
doing, Dak?
I don't even know if they've even started their series yet.
They have. Everyone has.
Well,
they
I know
playing
they're in
Tucson?
like. No, they're playing Seattle's AHL.
Oh,
Coachella.
Coachella.
Right
Oh, that's
on.
a good team. You guys are
Yeah,
probably done.
they won their series against Tucson. I just don't know if their next series against Coachella started, or it is tonight, actually.
Oops. 1 second here. I'm pulling it up. Playoffs. Playoff tracker. Oh, apparently it's glitched. Nothing's low. Oh, there we go. Never mind. It's 1-0 Hershey over Lehigh. 1-1 Providence versus Hartford. 1-1 Cleveland versus Belleville. 2-1 Syracuse over Rochester. 1-0 Texas over Milwaukee. 2-1 Grand Rapids over Rockford. 1-0 Calgary over Coachella Valley. 1-0 Ontario over Abbotsford. I mean, can you fault Abbotsford? They literally don't have a goalie.
Is that
Both their
like-
goalies are in the NHL.
is that like
Silovs
is that
is up with
games
Banks.
being done? Is that games being done?
Games. So this is the series of 1-0, 2-0. So it's
Okay.
1-0 series. Calgary over Coachella.
Hell yeah!
2. Oh, where are we? What didn't I already say? Lehigh Valley.
Daeden, is Laval in the playoffs?
No, they didn't make it.
Fair
No,
enough.
unfortunately not. Didn't OHL the Kitchener Rangers, didn't 2 guys just get called up, Rakoff and someone else, to go play with Coachella Valley?
Yep.
I
Seattle's
think
farm team, yeah. Oh,
I
and
think I can't remember who it was, but it was Rakoff and someone else.
From Seattle's farm team,
Yeah,
like from their draft picks. Who they drafted a defender, didn't they? Was he from Kelowna?
Caden Price.
I'm not too sure. I'm looking it up right now. It might have been Bristevich, but he's not. He got traded.
Yeah, Brustewitz he got called up to the Calgary Wranglers. Or Bruschwitz, however you say that, Dak. Because he was
There's only
Vancouver's pick.
Yeah.
Well, you look it up. I'll go through the goalies here. We got goals against average in the WHL. We got Ethan Eskett, Brandon, 0.98. Like, he's below a goal a game. That's crazy. Obviously, he might have only played one game because Brandon is eliminated, but that's still crazy. Ethan Chadwick, 1.95 for Everett, under 2 goals, and he made it to the most current round before they got eliminated. So congrats to him. Like, that's crazy. Evan Gardner, 2.06. Jan Spoonar, maybe the best goalie in the WHL right now, 2.19. And Joshua Ravensburg of PG, 2.27.
Back-to-back shutties against Kelowna.
I mean, must be nice for
Yeah,
Everett to go at least round 2 in the playoffs and still get the first overall pick in the draft. It's crazy.
Thanks to Cam Loops.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Riley, it was Edward Shala, the other guy.
Oh, okay, Sally. Yeah, Sally. Save percentage, Ethan Eskett, 0.976. Ethan Chadwick, 0.933. Jan Spoonar, 0.925. Ravensburg, 0.924. And Chase Wootsky of Red Deer, 0.924. And then our wins, Spoonar with 11. Unger for Moose Jaw with 10. Gardner from Saskatoon with 9. Ravensburg with only 8. And Reed Dick of Swift Current with 5. You sure Ravensburg's the best goalie now?
Buddy, look at the shutouts.
Him and Ty Young are the best tandem in the WHL. Don't ever try to clap back with that, all right?
He's only won 8 games.
They're
3 of them are
PG.
shutouts, though.
PG
Wait,
is
who
insane,
did he shut
man.
out? Everett?
No, he shut out Kelowna back-to-back games.
Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty decent.
I think Jens Spoonar is definitely up there. He's got to be up there for me. I've heard his name all season long.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good goalie.
So Ravensburg leads with 3 shutouts. Reed Dick with 1. Tyler Palmer of Everett with 1. Evan Gardner of Saskatoon with 1. And Jan Spoonar with 1 for Portland.
Reed Dick's a good goalie for Swift Current. And also Unger from Moose Jaw. Especially Unger from Moose Jaw. Like, it's so hard to see who's going to come out of Saskatoon and Moose Jaw, but if Moose Jaw does, like, you got to credit Unger holding them through a powerhouse of a first seed Saskatoon Blades.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else on the dub? Anyone else want to throw anything in there? Any TJ Ginla stuff for you?
Go Cougars. Go Cougars.
No.
Flame? None of that?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, let's get to the NHL, the big ticket, the main event, I guess, as you can call it. Clearly, the best team didn't make it. That is Tampa Bay Lightning. They didn't make it. That's very unfortunate. But no, in all seriousness, it's Dallas versus Vegas right now, Game 6. Let me check. 0-0 end of the second. Exact same thing that happened tonight in Vancouver. Vancouver did just beat the Predators 1-0 with 1:39 seconds left to take that series 4-1. Colorado gentlemen swept the Winnipeg Jets after losing Game 1. It looked deadly for Colorado. They flipped it, and Connor Hellebuck said he played the best hockey of his life, and no one knows what drugs he took before he went to that interview. But that's his thoughts.
I want to say he's joking, but apparently he's serious. He
was dead serious. He was dead serious. He
Like,
said, "You're
dude,
probably not going to believe me, but I'm playing the best hockey of my life."
the video I made about Hollabaugh, like it was a record of 1-4, you know, 5 goals a game. You know, his save percentage
Yep.
was
Horrible.
like, I'm not trying to roast the guy, but like, dude, when you say you played the best hockey of your career, you got thumped by the Colorado Avalanche, man. Like that, those stats don't look pretty, man. Like, how could you say those are your best hockey of your career, man? I don't
From what
understand.
I saw, from that series, both him and the Jets made a mistake signing.
Oh, dude, Neil Pionk just absolutely just sealed the series when he just scored on Hellebuck like that.
That was so bad. I
He
felt so bad
just
for him.
signed and sealed, boys. Yeah, we're done. Pack the bags.
Didn't even
Start the
have time to
bus.
react. That thing was on him like a bullet, and it went off his stick so fast.
Did anyone
Apparently,
see
Logan.
that? Did anyone see apparently that Logan Stanley put his house in Winnipeg up for sale in the
I was
dressing
literally
room?
about to say that. Yes.
Really?
Damn.
Apparently, yeah. He said, "I'm a UFA. Here goes my house. I'm out of here."
Guy's done.
Makes
Wow.
sense. Jeez.
You want to talk
Yeah,
about a tall guy? He is, man. He is a
Oh man, yeah.
tall guy.
Another
I don't.
Kitchener Ranger.
They were talking about how Winnipeg fixed their culture thing. I don't think that they did. And now this compared to our next series, which is Edmonton versus LA. Now we know, end of the year, neither of those teams won that trade. But
Oh,
for the
100%.
Dubois trade. But I saw something today that was wild. So Edmonton did beat LA 4-2 in their series, or 4-1. I don't even know what it was. 4-1 maybe. Yeah, it was 4-1. And today I saw options. They were talking about what to do with Pierre-Luc Dubois. Option number 1 was buy him out. I
Wow.
was like,
Already.
what?
Dude,
But
dude, I've
apparently,
seen trades between Huberdeau and Pierre-Luc Dubois.
no, that's even worse. No, don't do that. That's terrible.
Daden,
But what?
we've discussed this before. Like, we've had our thoughts and opinion on Pierre-Luc Dubois. Like, I'd like to hear like what you think of, like, obviously we know who won the trade and whatnot with that between Winnipeg and the LA Kings, but like, what do you think of him as a player? Like, is he too egotistical? Do you think he brings down the locker room when he's around? Like, what are your honest thoughts on what you see from his performance and as a character?
I mean, I think it actually starts in the locker room and like starts with his ego. And I think he also started in like a very like big headed mindset coming straight out of the queue. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm that guy. I can score those goals." Like, but then when he didn't get the minutes, he didn't get what he wanted. He started to just show the attitude and show the real side of him. So I think he might be a little bit of an anchor to a team, but who knows?
Like, I know his
I
end goal is,
definitely go the buyout route.
oh yeah, I know his end goal wants to be in Montreal because that's his favorite team, but I don't even think you guys would even want him, to be honest with you.
No,
Don't
No.
even need that.
no, I don't want him there.
Stay away. Stay away.
So what I read today was actually I didn't even actually know this about the buyout rules. This was crazy to me. So if there's a buyout rule for players under 26 years old only, that if you buy them out under 26 years old, you only have to pay 1/3 of their contract. So I didn't know that. So they only have to pay him 1/3 of his 8.5 million for 8 years. But the thing is that there's 2 dates that you can do that. The first date is June 15th or 2 days after the Stanley Cup final. So here's the predicament for the LA Kings. So it will not be June 15th if the Stanley Cup final is still going on. The game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, if it goes all the way to game 7, is scheduled for June 24th. June 24th just so happens to be the 26th birthday of Pierre-Luc Dubois, which means that if
Damn.
it goes to the length of the year and he gets, it has to go 2 days after the 24th, he will be 26. And if they buy him out, they then owe him 2/3 of his contract if they buy him out. So LA Kings are hoping that every series just goes 4 games, 4 games, 4 games, and they can potentially buy him out on the 15th because other than that, like it's. But I think like if you buy him out and you're Rob Blake, you're fired. How are you not? You made that huge trade. You gave him the huge contract. You lost one of the most liked guys in the locker room in Alafalo. You lost one of the best up and coming players in Velarde, who really showed it with Winnipeg this year. You lost a good prospect in Kupari and a draft pick. And then you gave this guy almost $9 million for 8 years. And he scored 2 goals the last 15 games. He had like 6 points or something, and he was on the 4th line in the playoffs.
Jack, you must be nervous hearing rumblings about Huberdeau and Dubois, man. You must
Huberdeau
be
might have had a
concerned.
down year, but he makes Dubois look like a sack of potatoes.
Well, I mean, Huberdeau doesn't complain as much. Dubois always asks for a trade when he's not the number one guy and doesn't get what he wants. So,
Yeah.
that's my take on him. But no, I wouldn't want to bring that in Calgary. At least Huberdeau's in better spirits.
True. You could just tell when Dubois switched to a tinted visor, it was over. Like, you just know with that type of a guy. Like, Nylander says he does it for, like, headaches, and some guys do it for, like, the lighting in arenas and stuff, but, like, you just knew Dubois did it just because he thought he was the sickest guy out there.
That's kind of like Morgan Geekie last year. Yeah, Morgan Geekie, when he played for Seattle, he had the pink visor.
He still had it this year, too.
Yeah, and then I think
Yeah.
Boston told him to get rid of it.
Yeah, and he it did. Or Morgan Geekie had it too, and because Connor Geekie had it this year with Wenatchee.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
he wore it for Team Canada, the World Juniors, and everything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it kind of looked good for Canada because like it was kind of reddish. It didn't look too bad, but when he
Okay.
plays for Wenatchee and they were like black and purple, it was like.
Yeah.
And then who did he get traded to? Saskatoon.
Swift Current.
Oh, Swift
Yeah.
Current, and then he kept his pink visor in Swift Current, and that just looked way off.
Right, with
So-
the navy blue, the green stripe, and the white. Like, no.
We'll have to see what Utah lets him do if they let him wear a pink visor. Who knows? Utah could be pink jerseys.
I'm excited to see what name and logo they're gonna go with.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine they're going to announce it at the. Well, I guess they have to announce it at the draft, but maybe the awards or something. Or I guess maybe the draft is whatever one's first. Either the awards or the draft. They'll announce their team name just before that.
I think the awards are first, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it'll be at the awards. And then, because that's what Winnipeg did, I'm pretty sure they announced at the awards, and then they went to the draft and drafted Scheifele like the next day. Well, let's jump to the East. Florida beat Tampa 4-1. Boston and Toronto going to Game 7. Washington never stood a chance versus the Rangers, but everyone saw that coming. And Carolina took care of the Islanders pretty easily, which everyone saw coming.
Quick fashion.
Like I said, if Pittsburgh got in over Washington, Pittsburgh would have been a great series for the Rangers. But Washington, like Ovechkin, no points, like all this talk. I don't even blame him. Like literally the guy's just looking for goal record. Like he's like, why would I score in the playoffs? It doesn't count.
Yeah, he was a -2 and he was held
season.
pointless the entire series, right?
And you got to give New York credit too. Like they obviously smothered him, knowing he's their only hope at getting goals on the board.
I don't think Washington either had the goaltending this year. Like Charlie Lindgren, like I know he's a great goalie, but
No.
he's not starting caliber at all.
No. I didn't even know he
No.
was Ryan Lindgren's brother on the Rangers. I learned that this year. Like,
Yeah, I didn't figure that out until a couple of years ago.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
So,
They don't
Kemper
really
was
look
injured,
alike.
wasn't he?
No.
No?
No,
He
they
just hasn't
chose
been the
Lindgren.
same since Colorado.
That's
Lindgren
tough.
won
Guy-
like
guy
10
got
of
the
the
bag
last
and just
12 games.
Big tough.
Yeah, how many
Big
games
tough.
did Lindgren win to end the year? He won like 10 to 12 games to win the year, so they went with the hot goalie in the playoffs, and man, was he shaky. Like, he almost gave, like, in front of the net, he was handling the puck and almost put it in his own net, and like, oh, just tons of mistakes. Unfortunately, that's kind of what happens, like, when you say, wow, this 30-year-old goalie is having a breakout season, and then it becomes the playoffs, and they kind of become who they were before the playoffs, or before that year. Like, the bad, Lingering kind of played like a perennial backup, which is what he is. So I think that they should have started Kemper, personally. You have your Stanley Cup winning goaltender sitting on the bench making $5 million, and you're in a do or die game 4. You've lost 3 games straight and you still don't put him in. That, to me, like, if I'm Kemper, I'm like, which way is the fastest way out of here?
Yeah, I'm hitting the door.
Yeah. Like, you just picked this guy who came from the AHL, like, last season to take over for me.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, bud.
Or they're going, hey, look at what's happening with Edmonton. We can do it too, but fail.
Oh, and they called up Jack Campbell too, which is crazy.
Well, that's just because so why teams do that? So Bakersfield didn't make the playoffs, but now, when they do morning skates, right? And they do optional skates, they can have 2 goalies in the nets instead of just one, so they can work on more. It's literally like, so it's going to be Skinner starting and then Calvin Pickard on the bench, but not Talbot. I always mix them up. Campbell's job is just to be there for warm up for the guys. That's literally it, so that they have an extra
That's
net.
tough.
Imagine.
Who else just did that?
It's like the bullpen catcher. Like, you just never see them in baseball. Wow.
Someone else just did that.
That's
One
what
of the
it's
teams
come to.
whose AHL team is out, they called up their third goalie too for the same reason, essentially.
I would say Samsonov, but isn't he backup right now?
I think you're right. It was Martin Jones, I think.
No, Joseph Wolf.
No, but Martin Jones was the third goalie that got called up to be a practice goalie for his NHL team, I'm pretty sure. Well, let's jump into the points here. McDavid leads Edmonton with 12 points. Leon Draisaitl right behind him with 10. And the reason why the Florida Panthers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, Carter Verhaeghe with 9. The ex-Lightning that Tampa gave up on. Matthew Tkachuk with 9 right behind him. And, no one else is really there. Just some guy from Colorado named Nathan McKinnon. We got goals as well. We got Hyman leading with 7, tied with Valerie Nichushkin. I'll give respect to that. Nichushkin has been fantastic on the power play.
Oh, what a snag from Dallas, man. What a snag. Gave up on him? Nah, he's our MVP.
Didn't he request a trade out of Dallas? Didn't he go back to Russia? He went back to Russia, and then you guys signed him from Russia, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he also missed last year's playoffs too, so it's nice to have him back. But, oh man, I cannot wait for Jonathan Drouin to come back in the second round. Daeden, you got to help me out here, brother, okay? These guys pick on me for sticking up for my boy, Jonathan Drouin. I think he's fucking amazing. Help me out here, brother.
No.
What
we're saying is Duran gets carried by his hand by Nathan McKinnon. Anytime Duran gets a point, it's thanks to McKinnon or Makar. At least 9 times out of 10.
That's not true, but I mean, I go all the way back to the Mooseheads days, and I think, Drouin was a really good player back then, but in the NHL, he hasn't done anything, and anything that he has done, he's had it passed to him on a silver platter. So I'm sorry, Dallas, man. I'm sorry, but
that hurts.
I even got that guy's signature back at home, but
that's sick. Let's go.
I just think he wasn't ready for the hype.
What's your Venmo?
What's that?
I said
he wasn't ready for the hype.
After this, what's your Venmo?
Oh no, he was not ready for the hype.
Yeah, no.
I think this works out perfect because you both have had experience with him, like Halifax and Montreal, and you, Riley, with Tampa. So I mean, I guess you do get to see all three versions of him, and I get to see him in Colorado, so kind of comes
Yeah,
full
you're
circle. But
welcome for Sergachev.
He was our best defender, and he missed pretty much the entire year in the playoffs.
I'm surprised that he hopped into the first round series.
They didn't have a choice. They needed him clearly.
Oh yeah.
He was honestly this year, not even gonna lie, for the first half of the season that he played, he was probably their fifth best defenseman. He was playing so bad. Other than power play, he was so bad. Turnover
Really?
central. He was just playing loose and cocky and overconfident, and he wasn't moving. He wasn't picking his head up. He just throw the puck away. Not instead of him pivoting to defend, he would just loop. He was just looking lazy and slow, and Tampa fans were out for blood. Then he came back in the playoffs, and he was the hero. Everyone loved him. He played great in the playoffs. He was the best defender. Hedman was off. Other than points wise, Hedman didn't play well. Our defense, we played 9 defensemen in 5 games.
Holy shit.
We were so injured. It came out with all 3 of our right hand defensemen all got hurt. 2 of them tore their ACL in Perbix and Radish, and Chernak was playing with a separated shoulder, and they were broken. So but our best pair, ironically, was our AHL kids. We called up Max Crozier and Emil Lilleberg. Somehow these 2 kids were our best pair by far. They were the most consistent. Sergachev played pretty good with Chernak, but Chernak cost us the game 5 with his terrible play. He's unfortunately fallen way off this year. And then we had to force Dumba to play with Hedman, and that's never going to go well when you have Matt Dumba playing first line D minutes.
Yeah. No, so, I like Matt Dumba, but he's not my favorite, and I probably wouldn't want him on my team.
I'm pumped he was on the team, but I mean next year, if he signs for a 1-year, $1 million contract, perfect. Stick around. But if he's going to sign $4 million somewhere else, then that's fine. He can go somewhere else. But yeah, I liked him. He had some big hits. He had some good defensive plays, but he also had about 3 goals that were his fault in this playoff series. So it is what it is.
Away she goes.
What do we got? Assist leaders: McDavid with 11, Evan Bouchard with 8, McKinnon, Rantanen, Makar. 7s across the board for those Avalanche boys. Honestly, you really can't doubt the here's my thing, Dallas. Do you mess with a winning lineup? Your team has dominated. What? Okay, I'm just gonna say this. What benefit does Jonathan Drouin bring to this Colorado Avalanche team right now?
Buddy, the chemistry has had with McKinnon. Okay,
but
Valeri
Nichushkin.
What?
Whose line do you break up though to let him?
Well, guess what, buddy? Good news for you is that he might not even come till round 3. All right.
But who do you take off of McKinnon's line so that Duran can hold his hand?
Val Nichushkin.
So you take off the leading
and
scorer
let him play with Rantanen on the second line.
The leading scorer in the National Hockey League playoffs. You take him off McKinnon's line for a guy who has to be walked to the park.
Shut up.
When it's dark out, just in case he gets lost.
Buddy, Riley, you're going to be getting text messages every round 2 if he comes back. When that first power play and it gets set up by Jared Bednar, and you got to witness Duran to McKinnon, baby. Let's go.
Riley's going to be getting a picture message of Duran sitting in the stands, buddy.
I'm going to watch every Colorado game, and I'm going to screenshot every time Duran's out of position in the defensive zone, and it ends up being his fault that a goal goes in. When you guys lose, I'm like, yep, there it is. There's Duran missing his assignment on the game-winning goal to knock out the Colorado Avalanche.
You wish you had Duran. No one here.
Sergachev.
No, I don't. I do not wish that I had him. You know who an ex-Lightning I wish I had?
Career year in points. Career year in points. Let's go.
Because thanks to...
Buddy. Buddy.
McKinnon, buddy.
Don't sleep on that comeback, all right? Don't sleep on that comeback, all right? Let's go. Let's go. Round 2, baby. Let's go.
Oh, man. Dude. Oh, Your love for him
You
is
see
just
that?
so
Hey,
unfortunate.
listen, you see that jersey behind Daeden there? 2013 Memorial Cup champion right there in Jonathan Dren, all right, buddy? All right? The guy
Yeah, but
was nuts in the
you see
queue.
that jersey behind him though? It's Gallagher, bud, not Duran.
Buddy, whoa. Whoa, did you not hear what I said, though?
Well,
2013
Halifax,
Memorial
but
Cup champion.
that's the only time he was relevant.
Hey,
Then and
How
now.
about
Yeah.
what about 2021? What did he do then?
Drouin did nothing ever since 2013. I'm sorry.
Like, okay, this is what we said kind of a couple episodes ago, Daeden. Like, his career high in points. Fair enough, he said it, but it's 54. Like,
Third overall
McKinnon
pick.
hit 140.
Third overall pick.
McKinnon hit 140, and it's like, if you do the math, I guess it makes sense because like McKinnon went first and Duran went third, so it makes sense that he only has a third of his points. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just absolutely wild. Like, that's his best season ever, 54 points. Woo.
Great.
Third overall, bud.
And his next best season before that was with Tampa. It's like every year in between, he just sucked. Exactly.
When you play on a shitty team, you're going to get shitty results.
I don't know about that. There's some, look at Bedard. Wait, how many points did Bedard get this year? Does he already have a higher career
Like
high than
57
Jonathan
or some
Drouin?
bullshit.
Yeah, he already has a higher career high than Jonathan Drouin does in 10
Yeah.
years.
There you go.
Dad, we don't want to hate. I mean, I want to hate on him, but if it wasn't legit, it wouldn't be viable. Like, I couldn't come to you and say that Nathan McKinnon was carried to the 2013 Memorial Cup or the 2022 Stanley Cup. I couldn't say that because he dominated. But Duran just deserves it. He deserves it, man. Like,
That's
He
tough.
doesn't, though.
That's tough.
what do you mean he doesn't? He wasn't good enough in Tampa. Got told he's going to the minors. Refused to go as a 19-year-old, thinking he was better than everyone else. And then they ship him off for Sergachev. Tampa goes on to win 2 Stanley Cups, go to 3 finals, and Jonathan Duran had a mental health break and doesn't play. Like, because he's not good. Like, I don't.
Hey,
I
but
don't know
listen,
what.
his career ain't over, bud. Okay, he's having a resurgence, a renaissance, a rebirth. Okay,
Hey,
this is the start of something beautiful. He's gonna go up from here,
here's
boys.
the thing, though. After Colorado, when a team is like, oh, hey, maybe he's worth 6, 7, 8 mil, regrets, dude.
Dude, here's the thing. I think that there's 31 teams that do not want Jonathan Drouin, and there's one team that does. Because Nathan McKinnon's like, I gotta help this guy out, coach. Like, just like when we were talking about in the offseason, Nate, save my career. Like, because that's what he needed. It's not a surprise,
Wow.
man.
You're
But he's going to
wild.
go somewhere else, and he's going to be back to trash. And
don't
McKinnon's
even
going
think
to be
it was
like, I don't know what to
Bednar.
tell you, bud.
I don't even think it was Bednar that wanted him there. I think it was McKinnon the whole way.
Literally.
No, dude,
It's like
it
when you
wasn't even
sign someone's
McKinnon, dude. It
family
was
member.
probably Duran in his DMs like, bro, please. I need this.
Just sends him a love letter. In Montreal, I realized I couldn't play without you, so I stopped playing. I have to be with you to play. Oh, man. Poor Duran. I mean, he's farther than we are in life, but
You just absolutely cooked my boy. But go on. Let's just move on.
pretty sure he's been brought up 10 episodes straight, and we just cook him every time.
I never have backup.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's all right.
That's
Let's
okay. He'll
show-
prove you wrong. One day he'll prove you wrong.
Not on Colorado, though.
Not on any team. Goals against average for goalies. Joseph Woll has taken the league by storm the last couple of games. 0.86 goals against average. Swayman with a 1.60. Shesterkin 1.75. Demko 2. And Casey DeSmith 2.02. Vancouver has had crazy stats. And I actually think Seelovs would be now in those right there with those two because he got his shutout tonight. Joseph Woll leaves save percentage 9.64, Swayman 9.47, Shesterkin 9.31, Logan Thompson 9.21, and Thatcher Demko 9.17. And then wins overall, obviously 4 is the most. So basically every team that's won 4 games, for the most part, has those. But Anderson, Bobrovsky, Georgiev, Skinner, and Shesterkin are the ones who played every game for their team and have 4. And the shutouts are Stuart Skinner and Artur Seelovs with 1 apiece. All right, let's jump into the more recent trophy nomination announcements and who we think are going to win them. So we got the 2024 Vezina finalists, Bobrovsky, Demko, and Hellebuck. Bobrovsky had 36 wins, 2.37 goals against average, 9.15 save percentage, and 6 shutouts. Did I say 2.37 save percentage? I don't know. 2.37 goals against. Demko with 35 wins, 2.45 goals against, 9.18 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. And Hellebuck 37 wins, 2.39 goals against, 9.21 save, and 5 shutouts. Who do you guys think should get it?
I'm gonna personally say Bobrovsky.
Yeah, I would have said Hellebuck up until the playoffs, but now look at what Sergei Bobrovsky's done, and my mind has been changed.
I just have to say
Like,
this.
I didn't think Bobrovsky was gonna be any good this year. Like, he had a hot playoffs last season, but he's like continuing, showing that he's still a good goaltender. So I don't know. I think Bobrovsky's got a good chance of winning it.
No, but we have to talk about it because this is at the point where it's unrealistic. If Sergei Bobrovsky wins, that is his 3rd Vezina Trophy. I think that's more than Lundqvist, Brodeur, Marc-Andre Fleury, Andrei Vasilevsky. Like, we're putting Bobrovsky in that category of goaltender?
Dude,
Like,
he's been carrying the Panthers, man.
but to be a career 3-time Vezina Trophy winner in like 12 seasons, we're putting him in that category of goaltender? Like,
I think he's done it, and I think he's done enough to prove it. Like even going back to his Columbus days, like he was a rock in that Columbus crease, and he honestly surprised me a little bit because he was like one of those guys that you have never heard of coming into the league, and then they just show up, and he took over that crease, and he has carried it on, and every team he's played for, he's easily taken the starting job, in my opinion.
One of the best decorated goalies right now, currently, honestly, and he's deserved it.
Also, a goalie that was expected to kind of help Spencer Knight's career jump, and Spencer Knight got sent back down.
oh,
And
he also just got called up. Actually, he's another guy, 3rd goalie. I'm sorry. Continue on.
but exactly, he's a 3rd goalie. He's a guy that's just kind of there to help with practice, like you were saying. And Bobrovsky's holding his own in net as the starter. So he's putting Florida in a tough spot, and he puts the Vezina Trophy in a tough spot. And yeah.
I'm just looking it up. I think it should be Hellebuck. For me, I just think he had that good of a year. Obviously, not a good playoffs, but it is just for the regular season. So for me, it's going to be him. I'm trying to see if they have a list of who's won it the most times. They might not here. Okay, you guys go on to, let's debate the Calder Memorial Trophy, which is Rookie of the Year. So Connor Bedard, Brock Faber, or Luke Hughes. Go ahead. You guys debate who you think is on that.
I mean, I think it's got to be Bedard, in my opinion, to miss all the time that he missed with that broken jaw and to still have nobody surpass him in points. And like just the player he is overall, it's pretty crazy. So why not give it to Bedard?
Yeah, Bedard's probably clearly the obvious winner in my eyes.
Yeah,
Like you got Brock Faber like in second in line here, and like you said, Daeden, like nobody was able to beat Bedard while he was away with a broken jaw. Like that's pretty impressive. So hell yeah, I think Connor Bedard is the clear cut choice. I think anybody would honestly already suggest that it's going to be Connor Bedard because it's Connor Bedard. So, but yeah, what a way
I
to start your career, man.
personally, I want it to be Brock Faber. It's going to Bedard. I'm not stupid. I know it's going to Bedard. But Brock Faber led all rookies in ice time. He anchored a first line D pair. He played on a team that was trying to make it in the playoffs, and he was arguably their best player. So to me, I think Faber had more of an impact on the success of his team in terms of actual playoff acumen. And obviously they didn't make it, but he did get hurt down the end of the year. And that really basically destroyed their hopes. But obviously Connor Bedard, when Chicago didn't have him in the lineup, they weren't even an NHL roster. So like you understand the gravity of what Bedard does for that team. But I felt like Faber, once Bedard got in, without the Bedard injury, obviously he would have been like 70, 80 points. He would have taken off, whatever. But Faber really stepped up in the time when Bedard was hurt. Max ice time, really playing well in Minnesota. So I think that he deserves a strong comparison. And I don't even know why Luke Hughes is there. Like, he really didn't have that good of a year. I thought it should have been a couple other guys that should have been in that conversation. But, like, honestly, Connor Zary was one that we really had up there when he first came up, but he kind of fell off at the end of the year as well.
Well, he was also kind of injured for the last little bit too. But at one point, he was one of the top points per game rookies when Bedard was injured. And Zary kind of came in later in the year.
So I've got the Vezina Trophy rankings here. So leading all time, Jax Plant has 7 Vezina trophies. Makes sense. Best goalie in the NHL history, probably. Dominic Hasek and Bill Durham tied with 6. I even think that, like, I know Dominic Hasek was great, but 6, I even think that's such a high number for Hasek. But below him is Ken Dryden with 5. And then we have a list of guys at 4. Brodeur, LaRocque, Sawchuk, and Tiny Thompson. At 3, we have Patrick Waugh, Tony Esposito, Glenn Hall, and George Hainsworth. So we are about to potentially put Sergei Bobrovsky in as good of a career as Patrick Waugh and Tony Esposito.
If he wins a Stanley Cup, why not, right? I mean, he's cemented himself as one of the great goalies of this
I
time.
will give, if he wins the Stanley Cup, absolutely. But I don't think a non-Stanley Cup winning goaltender should be basically 4th overall in history or 5th overall, whatever it is, in Vezina Trophy votes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely hard to put him in the conversation if he doesn't have a cup. Like, if he had a cup, yeah, sure, throw him in there maybe, but without a cup, it's hard to compete with names like Roy and Esposito for sure.
Like, he's already tied with legends: Tim Thomas, Ed Belfour, Bernie Parent, Johnny Bauer, Turk Broda, right? Like, those are guys, to name a few, that have 2 Vezinas. Igor Shesterkin won, Connor Hellebuck won, Linus Ullmark won, Andrei Vasilevsky won. You start going down the list and you see, like, is he that much better than Igor Shesterkin? Is he that much better career-wise than Connor Hellebuck, Linus Ullmark? I would argue, biased, of course, that he is not a better goaltender career-wise than Andrei Vasilevsky, right? But somehow he's always going to be that way in terms of the goalie trophies. So that was just my thought. I think it's going to Hellebuck. Everything I've heard, every analyst I've heard says it's going to Hellebuck. But you never know, because it's up to votes, and votes can be different. Let's talk about the James Norris Memorial Trophy. The 4 nominees: Quinn Hughes, Roman Josi, Cale Makar, and my own personal vote, Victor Hedman. But no, just the 3: Josi, Hughes, and Makar. It's going to Hughes. There's no way it's not
Oh,
going
all
to
day.
Hughes.
He set a
It's going
record
to
for
Hughes.
most points for Vancouver. I mean, it's a clear-cut choice. Hughes is going to take it. McCarr's already got one. Give it to Hughes, right? First year as a captain, he literally just took it and ran. Propelled Vancouver like they had no expectations going into this season, right? And they
Yep.
surpassed them like by a mile. So I think Hughes deserves it for the season he put under his belt.
Yeah, I think Quinn Hughes is almost like even changing the ways for smaller defensemen in the NHL. Like you've never really seen that smaller puck moving like skilled defenseman before, and I think Quinn Hughes is definitely opening a lot of doors for new guys to come in and take that place.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Quinn Hughes as well.
Bill Masterton, which is basically the Comeback Player of the Year award. We have Freddie Anderson, who had the blood clots. We had Connor Ingram, who announced that he had the OCD disorder where everything had to be perfect and it led to alcoholism, and he recovered from that and had a fantastic year. And then Calgary Flames Oliver Killington with the basically the mental blockage he had to not be able to play for almost 2 years and come back and play this year. Those are the 3 nominees. And really, this one, it doesn't matter who wins because it's not like it's a statistical thing. It's about 3 guys who overcame some troubles and really made it work. So it'll be exciting to see who wins it, but that one's just kind of up in the air.
Yeah, and it's kind of 3 tough ones to decide from too, you know?
I don't know. I don't really know if Anderson should win it because there's actually been quite a few guys who have played through blood clots, like Stamkos did, and there's been a few. I forget. I think Brian Boyle did when he was on the Rangers. There's been a couple guys, or on the Devils, sorry, Boyle, as well as the cancer for Boyle. But so I think the blood clot one, like that's an unfortunate medical condition for sure, but it has been dealt with by multiple other players before. Whereas Shillington and Ingram's are kind of new ground almost for what guys have made open into the light.
Well,
I
Ingram's
think
was
if you
supposed to Bobby Ryan's, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember Bobby Ryan's issue.
I think it was close to Bobby Ryan's. It was like something to do with alcoholism.
Yeah. But I don't, so Ingram's was like, so OCD, where like, apparently, we all know what OCD is, but he was like trying to be so perfect in hockey that he was like having to drink at night to sleep. So he was becoming like an alcoholic because he couldn't turn that off. So I don't know if that's the same as Bobby Ryan. I really don't remember Bobby Ryan's, but that's just what I know Ingram has come out and said. And we honestly don't know Shillington's. All I can say is it's a mental block. He's never come forward and said what happened or why he missed time. He just did. So I think it'll probably go to Ingram, but who knows? Then we have the trophies already won. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dak.
No, go ahead.
We talked about this last episode, but we'll bring him up again. Kucherov won the Art Ross for most points. Austin Matthews won the Maurice Rocket Richard for most goals. The Jennings Trophy was shared by Hellebuck and Laurent Brossois in Winnipeg. And then the President's Trophy was won by the New York Rangers. All right, gents. So that was a full episode of playoffs and stats and everything breakdown. Let's go into our final segment here and end this up with Battle of the Tarps. I don't know who all can see this, but I can break it down at least. So we're in our May round robin 1. In our randomizer, we rolled the away jerseys for the QIJHL Golden Rocket and the home jerseys for Tipos in the Extra Liga. So the Golden Rocket jerseys are very similar to the old Washington Capitals jerseys. They're red. They have the stars kind of on there as well. It says Rockets across instead of Capitals. but very, very similar to those old Capitals throwback jerseys. And then the T-Post jerseys are very honestly similar to like Mississauga Steelheads. They're white. They have a blue logo on the front. I can't really tell what it is. It's a goat. Okay, it's a goat, but it kind of looks like the steelhead fish in that way. It has some blue accents in the underarms, on the bottom, and on the arms as well. So those are our two Battle of the Tarps. What are your guys' thoughts on those two?
Golden's just too
Probably.
plain for me.
I was just gonna say golden, tough.
Yeah, those Golden Rocket jerseys are, I don't know, man. They look like they came out of a cartoon or something.
Like,
Oh, we're definitely
yeah, there's a
splitting.
little less creativity in that one. I mean, like, it's just so bland, you know? Like,
So one thing you can't see because the player's glove is in the way is it does say golden in golden letters right above Rockets with 3 gold stars as well. Just I'll throw that in there.
I
So
don't understand why there's 3 gold stars, but then the stars on your jersey are red and blue.
I think it's just because the city's name is Golden.
Oh, okay,
Like
okay.
that's just why. But I would have loved to see them do a gold jersey. Like they're literally the
Golden
city of
Rockets, yeah.
Golden. Like but they chose to go Washington Capitals colors for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't
There's a
really.
lot of teams that love just mimicking the Washington Capitals, like jersey style, accent, stripe, colors, etc., etc. Like, it's kind of plain and boring, man. Like, get some creativity, man.
Red, white, and blue. You can find those 3 colors. Well, not white, but red and blue. You can find on almost every hockey team in the world. There's so many that have red and blue. There's very limited that don't. But I'm gonna go with the Rocket personally. I think that they're kind of sick. If we're thinking of them as like a retro perspective, they're sick. If they're trying to win a contest of like coolest current jersey, they're not going to win anything. But I think that they're kind of dope just in their retro vibe feel. They give the guys the red buckets, they give them the red gloves, they put in the money. So I like that. They don't give them the red pant shells though. I think that's a letdown. Don't need to have they should do blue pants at least. The black pants just look so off. And then for T-Post, I mean, I like the logo now that I just learned it was a goat. I think that's cool. But I don't know. It's like 4 white stripes on a white jersey with a goat in the middle. It's kind of very basic for me. Anything else on those two, gents? Well, let's pick. Well, I guess we're split. 2-2, 2-2 on that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got Tapo.
All right. So then we have our April semifinal from our votes last episode. We now have the Lloydminster Alberta Junior Hockey League team versus the Cape Breton Eagles of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. This one's going to be tough because, Dally, you voted unanimously for the orange one last time. You loved it, but Cape Breton, there's that family connection. What do you got?
Still Cape Breton, boss.
Still going with the Breton.
Still going with the Eagles, boss.
I think I'm gonna go Lloydminster on this one. I just love the orange.
Oh man, it's a tough one for me. The Lloydminster Bobcats have like that such like it's a nice orange jersey, like a nice
The highlighter
logo.
orange is nice. Yeah, it's oh
Oh,
But
Dallas
Dally's
but
getting
second guessing.
nah. I'll
hometown
stick with it.
roots or home province roots in Cape Breton, I think I might have to go with the Eagles.
fair enough.
Attaboy,
I'm
attaboy.
I'm definitely getting
Yeah.
bit in the ass with this one because I literally just said every team out there has red or blue in it. And neither of these teams do, like right after I said that. So that was great. But I'm going Lloydminster. Lloydminster. Um, it's orange. It's flashy. It's everything about it looks nice. It combines well. Yeah, for me, it wins. Not Cape Breton. That's all I have to say. Not for me. But other than
No
that,
family ties, boys.
no family ties.
Guy just doesn't know a good tarp when he sees one, I guess.
Basically, that's fine though. But that's pretty much it, gents, for episode 30 of Game Day Tarts podcast. Thank you again, Daeden, for coming on. Everyone, again, let's go to TikTok at Bluenose Hockey and Instagram at Bluenose Hockey. I will be putting a photo over that of your TikTok, Daeden, so you can see like the picture that's with it, so everyone can find you. But please go there, interact with Daeden's accounts. Let's help build that following as well, and like all his content. And again, for us at all of our Game Day Tarps social medias, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us. Let's watch these videos, watch our Battle of the Tarps that we just did. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, any of those streaming services. And as always, everyone, hope you all had a great night. Thanks again for listening. Talk to you next time.